Welcome to Metal Band's Chronicles, where metal lives! Oh, hail the priest and long live the metal gods! That's right, welcome back to Metal Band's Chronicles. Yes, this is a re-ranking of Judas Priest. Yes, originally I did an album ranking for Priest 5 years ago, back when Firepower was fairly new. Well, here in 2024, we got a new Judas Priest album titled Invincible Shield, which came out back in March. So yeah, we are redoing this album ranking, so let's get on with it. We're not going to waste too much time. I'm not going to get too detailed on these albums, because if you're a Judas Priest fan, you pretty much know the back history, the history of these albums. We're just going to rank them, man. Make this fairly fast if we can. All right, so coming up first, obviously coming in at last place. No surprise here. Hasn't changed since 2019. This one I don't own still either. I refuse to buy this unless I find it for a fucking dollar. I'm talking about Bada Bing, Demolition. Horrible album. Just a bad album. I mean, Machine Men, the opening track's okay. One-on-one's very repetitive. I don't gotta waste time talking about this album. And Metal Messiah. Man, if I want to listen to Metal Messiah, I'll listen to the Great Cat's Metal Messiah. Definitely not this. Not a good album at all. Anyways, let's just move on to number 18. I'm not spending much time on this album. Anybody that's into Judas Priest knows how bad it is. Shockingly, I did see a few people rank this album pretty high. Hey, man, if you like it, you like it. Me? No, not my Priest. Okay, number 18. Sorry, Ryan Arnold, man, but coming in at number 18, man. And it's not that this is necessarily a bad album. It's just so long and so slow. Nostradamus. Trying to get that up on the screen there if I can. Anyway, I apologize if that looks dark. Yeah, man, this album, it's not that it's bad. But, man, by the time disc 2 gets here, I just want to go to sleep. I mean, yeah, if you want to go to bed and you can't go to bed at night, definitely put on Nostradamus. That'll definitely put you to sleep quite easily, especially going into disc 2. But there is good stuff on here, the opening track, Revelation, I like. I thought War was pretty good. Pestilence and the Plague of Death, and Death was pretty good. What else on here did I like? I thought Conquest was pretty good. Persecution's really good. The last track on here definitely reminds me of Painkiller. So yeah, disc 1's not bad. I do like disc 1, but man, disc 2. Like the first, oh my God. Like almost every track on disc 2 is a ballad. Until you get to the title track, Nostradamus, which definitely harkens back to Painkiller. And I remember when I first heard that track in 2008, I was actually kind of excited for this album. And this is the only Judas Priest album I never bought new. Prior to, the first one I bought new was a Jugulator, but this one I didn't buy till a few years later, to be honest. Yeah, man, does nothing for me. I do like the last track on here, too, Future of Mankind. So yeah, like I said, I don't hate it. It's just, man, there's too much slow stuff going on. Now, a lot of people would probably put this second to last. No, I actually do like this. Yeah, the lyrics are dumb as shit, but yeah, 1997's Jugulator. This was the first Judas Priest album I bought, actually. New. Now, Painkiller I heard new back in 1990, but I didn't buy it back then. But this one I bought new, I was kind of happy you didn't get a Judas Priest album for 7 years at that time. So, and new singer Tim Ripper Owens comes aboard. I got to be honest, back in 97, I played this album quite a lot, maybe because back then there wasn't like a whole lot going on, when it comes to metal. I like the title I do like the title track, Jugulator. Bloodstain's good. I do like Decapitate. That's pretty cool. But the best track on here is definitely Cathedral Spires, the last track. I honestly wish they would play that live with Rob. I really do. Come on, guys, break it out. Anyways, that one comes in at number 18. Oh, boy, coming in at number 17. Or was that 17? I apologize, Josh. Number 17. Coming in at number 16. Got to go with Rockarola. I got this version of Rockarola. I don't have the Coca-Cola bottle cap version of it. I'll probably eventually get it someday. Again, it's not that it's terrible, but you can definitely tell on here Judas Priest hadn't quite found their sound, You can definitely tell Al Atkins wrote a lot of this stuff, Best tracks on here, One for the Road. I do like Rockarola. I actually like Cheater also. I do like Cheater, even though it's really bluesy, Never Satisfied, I really enjoy. It's weird, I actually saw Rob Halford solo played Never Satisfied in 2010 at Ozfest. It's pretty cool. The rest of the album, it's whatever. I mean, Run of the Mill kind of has some Sabbath doomy rips in it. It's not bad. Yeah, it's still not like a bad album. Or no, Run of the Mill's kind of psychedelic sounding. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking, okay, Dying to Meet You kind of has like a Sabbath vibe going on. Of course, this was produced by Roger Bain, too. But yeah, that one comes in at number 16. All right, number 15. Some people might put this one a bit higher. I think I had this one a little higher on my first ranking. I honestly don't play this one much anymore. I like stuff on here, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about Angel of Retribution from 2005, The Return of Rob Halford. Yeah, it's not that it's bad, There's good stuff on here. The opening track, Judas Rising's good. Deal with the Devil's good. Revolution, I'm not a fan of. We're Fighting For It. It's okay. Demonizer rips. That one's like total painkiller type of stuff there. Angel. Angel actually reminds me of part 2 of Beyond the Realms of Death. It kind of has a similar melody going on. Just listen to it really good. You'll think Beyond the Realms of Death. At least I did when I first heard it back in 2005. I kind of got that vibe. Hell Rider, another killer track. Another painkiller-like track. And you know what? A lot of people don't like Loch Ness. I actually do like Loch Ness. All 14 minutes of it, too. I enjoy it. Okay, coming in at number 14. I think I had this one ranked lower, too. Some of this album's grown on me. I used to hate this freaking album. Talking about Turbo from 1986, the glam metal album. Twin turbos, man. I mean, it's got some okay stuff on it. The track Turbo Lover, actually, it's grown on me a bit. I used to hate that song. But, I've been going back and listening to it again. It is a catchy song. It's not bad. Locked In's okay. And the rest of this album's whatever. Out in the Cold, though. Out in the Cold's probably the best track on here. And another great track on here is the final track on here, Reckless. Freaking love it, man. That one comes in at 14. Coming in at 13, got to go with its baby brother or big brother, whatever the hell you want to call it, because this album's a little better. Twin Turbo number 2 here, Ram It Down. Yeah, that's right. Now, there is stuff on here that's a predecessor to what you would hear on Painkiller. Obviously, the title track rips, Ram It Down. Now, that's the Priest I want to hear. Fast, furious, epic guitar solos, high fucking Halford screams, Good stuff. I even like heavy metal. I like the track Heavy Metal. I know some people don't like it. Hard as Iron. Hard as Iron is a good track. That's the one that definitely is a predecessor to what you would hear on Painkiller. Blood Red Skies, it's freaking epic. I love that track. Such powerful vocals by Halford on that track, you know. The rest of this album's, you know, kind of forgettable. I do like the last track on here, Monsters of Rock. Johnny B. Good's silly. I mean, honestly, between these two, these two could easily intertwine, but I do like Ram It Down slightly better. Okay, so number 13, coming in at number 12. 2014's Redeemer of Souls. Hard to believe this album came out 10 years ago now. I can't believe it. The thing that weighs this album down for me, it's a good album. You know, it's the production. The production's weird on this album. And I don't think this is one of Rob Halford's best vocal performances. It seems like he's kind of straining on this album when he's trying to do the high note. Like the opening track, Dragonaut, good stuff. Redeemer of Souls, you could say quintessentially Hell Patrol Part 2. I think it's a good track. I do like Call to Valhalla. Swords of Demisouls is freaking great. March of the Damned sounds like it could have been on British Still, you know. I like Down in Flames. Crossfire's good. Battle Cry fucking rips, dude. That song sounds like it could have been on Painkiller. But yeah, man, Redeemer of Souls, you know, number 12. Coming in at number 11. Wow, I can't believe how high this one made it up. I know I had this one ranked lower before. But you know what? For what it is, it's not a bad album. I'm talking about 1981's Point of Entry. It definitely has that summertime, like, cruising on the highway type of feel to it. That's what I kind of like about this album. You know, like, you're on a back road just cruising around. And obviously you got a track like Heading Out to the Highway blasting, you know, or a track like Desert Plains or Solar Angels blasting out of your vehicle with the windows down, you know, or the top down, depending on what kind of vehicle you have, you know. Or if you're just driving your freaking motorcycle, your Harley Davidson down the road on a hot summer night, you know, or hot summer day or whatever, you know. Good album for that. So yeah, Heading Out to the Highway, great song. I like Don't Go, you know, that one's not a great song, but it's decent, you know. Hot Rockin's goofy. That track's goofy. Turning Circles, Desert Plains, dude, probably the best track on here. Solar Angels is cool. I love Solar Angels. That's good too. Worst track on here, there, You Say Yes. Oh my God, that's going to be one of the worst Judas Priest songs, man. All the Way, Troubleshooters, whatever. I do like the last track, On the Run, even though it's kind of weird in the beginning. Fun album, man. Fun album. All right, top 10 territory here now. Coming in at number 10, I know this is going to be very controversial because a lot of people would put this one probably in their top 5. There's some people out there that might put this at number 1. But British Still. I know. Hey, at least it's in the top 10, right? Still a good album. Rapid Fire freaking rules. Metal Gods. I love Metal Gods. Breaking the Law, you know, yeah, it's still a good song, but I never need to hear it again. Grinder. Hungry for Meat. Killer track. Yeah, United. I know. Not one of the better tracks. You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. That's a pretty underrated track. Living After Midnight, obviously a huge track. Probably one of the first. Actually, that was probably one of the first Judas Priest tracks I ever heard way back as a kid in the 80s, you know, before I really got into Priest. So, The Rage is freaking awesome. And Stiller is such a good, fast-paced track. Still a great album, though. You know, it's still good. I don't have too many complaints about it. I think for me, it just kind of suffers from burnout. Okay, number 9. Titled Killing Machine in the UK and Hell Bent for Leather here in America. 1978. Well, I think this came out in 79 in America. Hell Bent for Leather. but this is really a 78 release. Okay. Man, a lot of good stuff on here. The title track, Hellbent for Leather, Delivering the Goods. Even Rock Forever, it's kind of like a shuffle type of song, but it's all right. It's got some good drum work by Les Binks on it, you know. You got Evening Star. That Evening Star kind of reminds me of a Boston song, you know. It really does. I kind of like it, though. Before the Dawn is a gorgeous song. Before the Dawn is one of the best ballads by Judas Priest. Of course, you got Running Wild, Fast Paced. That's a good ripper of a track. You know, Evil Fantasies, Take On All the World, basically United Part 1 or whatever. And Killing Machine. Killing Machine's really cool. Because I got a contract on you. That's right. Still a good album, though. This is where they kind of started going a bit more commercial, though. All right, coming in at number 8. Going to go with the newest album, Invincible Shield. This is a great album. Probably my favorite of, well, it's one of my favorites of 2024. This is a strong album, man. I think it comes in at number 8 because it's a bit newer. But man, this is a good freaking album. Panic Attack. Sounds like it could have been on Painkiller. The first 3 tracks on here actually sound like they could have been on Painkiller. The Serpent and the King and Invincible Shield. Oh man, just greatness. You know, you got Devil in Disguise, which is good. Gates of Hell's great. Let's see, Crown of Horns is really good. Bit more mid-paced. I heard some people say they don't really care for it. I do like Trial by Fire. That's good. What else? Escape from Reality is good. Yeah, man, this is a good album. Oh, yeah, Trial by Fire. I think that's the one that kind of has like a Leather Rebel type of sound to it, you know. But, man, this is still a really good album, man. Really good album. All right, this one dropped. I ranked this one really high back in 2019 when I did my ranking initially back then. I just really loved this album back then. I still really love it. I'm talking about the album before Invincible Shield. It's coming in at number 7. We got Firepower. There's nothing wrong with this album. What a freaking killer album. You know, Firepower, Invincible Shield, this late in their career. Rob Halford just turned 73 years old, and they're still putting out solid heavy metal music like this. Man, Firepower. Good track that's definitely reminiscent of something off a Painkiller. Lightning Strikes is good. Evil Never Dies is freaking killer. That one actually sounds like it could be a Halford solo track, to be honest. Never the Heroes, I like. That's a really good epic track. Kind of has like an Accept feel to it. Necromancer's great. Children of the Sun, Guardians, Rising from the Ruins is awesome. Flamethrower's kind of a throwback to like Screaming for Vengeance a bit. Yeah, man. Spectres, I mean, Lone Wolf, that one sounds like it could be a fight song. And Sea of Red, it's a tremendous ballad. Yeah, this whole album is great still, you know. Absolutely love it. All right, moving on. Oh, boy. So, coming in at number 6. Oh, boy, more controversy here. Because a lot of people would put this at number 1 also. But coming in at number 6 for me, and it's still a great album. Screaming for Vengeance. Still a really good album, man. A lot of great tracks on here. Obviously, The Hellion, Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Take These Chains. You know, Bloodstone. Bloodstone's probably my favorite track on here. I love that intro. Screaming for Vengeance, the title track. Of course, You've Got Another Thing Coming. You know what? That actually was probably the very first Judas Priest song I ever heard as a kid, back in like 83, 84-ish. I remember hearing that as a little 4 or 5-year-old kid. That's kind of my introduction to Judas Priest. Of course, I didn't become a fan till another album in this ranking that we're going to talk about. We'll get to that, though. But yeah, Devil's Child. I mean, Fever's a great deep cut. Yeah, it's still a dang good album, man. Screaming for Vengeance. Number 6. All right. Top 5 Judas Priest albums. Ooh. And this one was ranked I think I had this one ranked at 4, actually, the last time. I mean, it went down to 5. Coming in at number 4. Defenders of the Faith. Man, this album still freaking rules, man. Free Will Burning, Jawbreaker, The Sentinel, Rock Hard Ride Free. That first half, man, is just perfect. The Sentinel is probably my favorite Judas Priest song of all time. Such a killer song. And it's one of the first ones I learned on guitar. Well, that intro, at least. Love Bites is a really cool song. I like that. Eat Me Alive got them in trouble back in the day with good old Tipper Gore. But that's a killer track. Some Heads Are Gonna Roll's good. Night Comes Down, it's more of a ballady type of track. You know what? Night Comes Down actually kind of reminds me of Crocus's Screaming in the Night a little bit. It kind of has that same atmosphere, Heavy Duty, Defenders of the Faith. I always thought that was the weakest track on here. Still good, though, But yeah, number 5, Defenders of the Faith. Oh, number 4. This one has really gone up high because I absolutely love this album. And, okay, this was the very first Judas Priest album I owned. Well, I owned it on cassette tape when I was younger. I found it for like $5 when I was a kid. Sin After Sin from 1977. First album on a major label. This album just smokes. I love it. You know what? I still listen to this album a lot to this day. Opening track, Sinner, just great stuff. KK Downing's in his moment on that track when it comes to that freaking wild dive bomb solo that he's doing. Diamonds and Rust, Need I Say More, a great cover. Originally done by Joan Baez. Awesome track. You got Starbreaker. Starbreaker freaking rules. Man, that's such a good song. And yes, I do like Last Rose of Summer. I know a lot of people don't like that track. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's a really good 70s-like ballad for Judas Priest. Kind of like in that, I'd say it's kind of your typical 70s ballad, kind of like a Led Zeppelin ballad maybe. Along those lines, but good stuff. And Rob Halford does a pretty good Robert Plant at the end of that track. All right, so we turn it over to Let Us Pray, Call for the Priest. One of the earliest examples of speed metal. That's a fast track, man. It's so good. Man, oh man, is it good. I like Raw Dill. I even like Here Comes the Tears. I know Here Comes the Tears and Raw Dill would probably be considered the weakest tracks on the album. I still like them. But the last track is probably the heaviest track of the 70s. I'm talking about Dissident Aggressor, covered by Slayer. I actually heard the Slayer version first on South of Heaven back in 90, 91-ish. Because I got this on cassette not too long after I heard that. But yeah, Dissident Aggressor, man. Holy cripe. That's such a heavy song for 1977. Yep, Sin After Sin at number 4. Moving on, number 3. And I think I might have had this one at number 2 on my old ranking. But man, oh man, do I love this freaking album. Sad Wings of Destiny. What a great album this is. Victim of Changes. Man, oh man, such an epic track. Rob Halford's vocals on this album are probably the highest. You know, I mean, that's debatable. He's done some albums where he has reached some really high vocal ranges, you know. But man, he's really hitting some notes on this album. The Ripper. Man, that's a cool track. The Ripper is so awesome. God damn, I love the screams in that track too. Dreamer Deceiver going into Deceiver. Holy cripe. Man, oh man, you talk about an epic Judas Priest song. Rob Halford's vocal work on that track, holy smokes. It's like the gates of heavy metal heaven have opened up and taken us all away. You know, Prelude, just a short little instrumental played by Glenn Tipton on piano. Tyrant freaking rules, man. Genocide, another great track. Epitaph, it seems like they were kind of influenced by Queen on that track. You can definitely hear the Queen-like influences. An Island of Domination. What a great way to end this classic album from 1976. That's my number 3. Wow. Number 2. This might be the first time I ranked this album ever at number 2, because forever this album was number 1 to me. Because this is the album that got me into Judas Priest. Like, fully into Judas Priest. In 1990. Painkiller coming in at number 2. Man, you talk about a step up. After, you know, Turbo and Ram It Down. This one's almost speed metal. Such a good album. Painkiller, Hell Patrol, All Guns Blazing, Leather Rebel, Metal Meltdown, Nightcrawler, Between the Hammer and the Anvil. You don't really slow down till A Touch of Evil gets here, you know. Then you end it with Battle Hymn and One Shot of Glory. You talk about an epic ending to an album, man. Yes, man. Painkiller, number 2. This album definitely was highly influential on some power metal bands, particularly Primal Fear, even Gamma Ray. You can definitely hear a lot of Priest in their sound, you know. Oh my God, but man, this album is still awesome. It's still a perfect album. But you know what album moved to number 1? I've been playing the heck out of this album a lot too. Coming in at number 1, rightfully so. Stained Glass. Damn, this freaking album is perfect. Such a dark album. A predecessor to speed metal too on this album with Exciter. Holy crap, Les Binks is doing killer drum work on that song. And the guitar trade-off between Tipton and Downing is so epic. So heavy metal, you know. Actually, quintessentially, this could be the first full-on heavy metal album. That's debatable, you know. White Heat, Red Hot, freaking rules. Better by You, Better Than Me. A cover track originally done by Spooky Tooth. Ironically, how they got in trouble over that song when they didn't even write it, you know. Stained Glass, the title track. Holy cripe. I'll tell you what, too. You know, I talked about how Rob Halford did, like, super high vocal work on, you know, Sad Winds of Destiny. Even on Painkiller, he did some, like, tremendous high vocal work. On here, he's really hitting them notes, too. Oh, my God. Stained Glass, he's really hitting the notes. Invader, a deep cut on here. I actually enjoy it. I think it's a cool track. Saints in Hell, kind of Sabbath sounding, kind of doomy sounding. Freaking love it, man. Let's see. You got Savage. I like Savage. That's a really good track. Beyond the Realms of Death is so epic. What an epic track. You can tell where bands like Metallica got their ballady side from when it comes to a track like Beyond the Realms of Death. I mean, you could say a track like Fade to Black going into the future was definitely influenced by Beyond the Realms of Death in a way. You know, stylistically, you know. Really good track. And to me, the most underrated Judas Priest track of all time. Hero's End. Love it. Love it. Such a dark ending to an album. Yeah, to me, this album is number 1 now. That could change, man. Actually, the 3 albums that came in front, actually the top 5 albums, any one of them albums could be a number 1 album. Anyways, that's my re-ranking of Judas Priest. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Please hit that like button. Help get that algorithm out there so these videos get some recognition, man. I would really appreciate it. And keep it metal and keep on banging those heads. I am out.